Hello and welcome to the 152nd episode of the Gochuucast. We did not have an episode last week for a plethora of reasons, but we plan to have a longer one today, allegedly. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, last week didn't happen, but it's interesting. It's the first time we've consciously chosen not to have an episode after
Yeah.
150 plus weeks.
It's just that we had tried to squeeze in the last week episode. We would have had nothing to talk about today.
Tuesday, yeah, because it would have been. Well, we would have had.
We would have had most of the same stuff we have to talk about today, but we had to record this so early in the week because I'm going to be in the Midwest. We would have been able to talk about a single episode of Your Forma, maybe.
There was
No,
also
that was out.
not even we would have been missing one of us no matter what.
Yeah,
No
it's too.
Yeah.
So it would even harder to make a full episode of it. So
I still think the concept of laying Daniel to rest is funny.
could have happened. But
And I kind of want
That
to
would've
do
been
it
funny.
one day.
well, we'll see
But there's
how
a
that
lot
plays
of
out.
work.
I mean, there's
Daniel
not
does
that,
all
there's
the
not that
things.
much work. It's basically hitting record and then finding a way to get the file to me. But
Yeah.
a concept of laying Daniel to rest basically either means I'm so busy somehow throughout a whole week that I would not be able to find any time. And which I guess, I don't know. I sacrifice sleep for some episodes, which is whatever. I don't care that much.
Same.
But I wouldn't be able. I can't think of anything that would happen. Well, I guess it literally did happen last week, where just a tidal wave of everything all came up at once, and I couldn't do anything. But that has happened once in 150 plus weeks. So Lord knows when you'll get another chance for laying Daniel to rest. I'll have to be dying.
We'll make it happen.
All right, make it happen. I don't like the
No,
sound.
I don't.
of
I
it.
don't mean that in a sinister way.
What if we just give you a day off?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Be interested. It's like when Mr. Krabs had to leave in the Aaron's episode. It'd be me, thinking about you all recorded an episode without me. Just to run back, make sure you didn't burn down the Discord call.
I don't know if that's possible, but yeah.
But yeah. Yes, I guess except for your forma, we have 2 episodes of everything to talk about, but we can do that at the end. I say that. I don't really have anything particularly special to talk about this episode.
Yeah, me neither.
I've been packing. I mean, we can talk about Awashi season 2 briefly.
It exists. I don't know what else.
It was confirmed. This is one of my favorite series.
The better
the manga is. Yeah, it's one of my favorite manga. It is has a different production team.
Yes, I don't know about we don't know the people around it, but they've at least switched studios, which probably means that they will not have. I mean, it's also been years. They're probably not going to have the same team.
When probably
season
not.
1 come out? Season 1, yeah. It's going to be a good. It comes out in 2026. This started in spring of 2022. It'll probably have been a good 4 years by the time we get season 2 out. So. It will most certainly have a far different team, even beyond just the studio switch.
Yeah, but I believe it'll be peak because the source material's peak.
I think I like the content. I question TMS is the most okay studio in that I feel like.
Yeah, but I like things that TMS has done recently.
I mean, I don't hate
Blue Box, Dr. Stone. Yeah,
but it's
it's not a bad.
They're not a bad studio. It's just underwhelming.
Great. That's the thing.
Yeah, you're going from a very well-renowned studio to the studio that has certainly its name in a lot of things. They're on a lot of production committees. And they also do their own anime, of course. But yeah, they just don't do anything like inspiring, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sakamoto Days was notoriously trashed for being just okay because it's a popular series and people don't like popular series being just okay. Um, like Doctor Stone has always been like fine. It's never like stood out by any means. Rent a Girlfriend is Rent a Girlfriend. Like really like and they're a producer on Blue Box. I don't know if they have like some deeper connection to telecom animation, which is the actual studio for Blue Box, but probably like
Unsure.
some sub studio of TMS or something. Cause they've worked on a number of things together technically, at least producer studio wise. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how much changes after 4 years, but we cannot tell. We don't have a single hint as to what this adaptation will look like beyond the fact that it exists.
Yep. And these are some good arcs coming up. I was saying to Daniel before, for better or worse, this coming season is a lot more like soccer and a lot more of like games and stuff like that, as opposed to like the first season that was a lot of setup and stuff. So we'll see how that TMS does with that, obviously. But
I gotta lock in.
yeah,
We'll
but
see
I'm
what.
excited. This is one of, like I said, one of my favorite series. So
I am glad it's getting to season 2. It deserved one faster than the other soccer anime that we don't talk about.
yeah, we don't talk about that.
Starts with blue. Yeah.
It might start with blue. You
It
know.
might.
All right.
Okay, I was like
I don't think
randomly
I did
looking at my.
anything else interesting. I
Looking at
watched
my.
some more of
Oh, go ahead.
the Doctor Stone season that I haven't finished yet.
Yeah, I was looking through my Twitter likes just to see if there was anything else, and then I came to the realization that an artist I'd liked two things from was using AI. I got suspicious when I'm like, two very high quality drawings that have come out within a short period of time. I checked, and they're at least like a lot of the ones that I like are very open, like that they are using AI to generate their shit. But yeah, it's unfortunate.
I I can usually I'm pretty perceptive to that, but I don't know. Now it's gotten like so much better. I'm like I, I feel like I get fooled by it like pretty often nowadays. Especially like a lot of the new like I guess like I don't know, anime style drawings like um I get fooled by that stuff on Twitter. Like
Yeah,
I'll like see something and then people be like, "Oh yeah, that's AI." And I'm like I could not even tell. Like usually I can tell, but like sometimes I don't know. It's gotten really good recently.
yeah. I feel like with anime in particular, there's like a lot of, and in part of it is also like some of these people will generate something and then they'll like touch it up personally, which is like better, I guess. But I should actually let me mute this person so I don't see their shit anymore. But it feels like Twitter is always trying to peddle like some AI artist onto me. Like if I mute one, another one fucking pops. It's like whack-a-mole. You hit one, another pops up somewhere. But I like never had more than one at once. It's always just one that it's trying to peddle to me. Then I mute them and it gives me another. It's annoying.
Yeah. I don't um I don't really pay too much attention whenever I get art or anything on my recommendeds, but also I don't like retweet art or anything like that. I just kind of look at it and I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." So it's never been too big a deal to me, but not because of like the concept, just because it's not something I really have to like care about much, you know?
Yeah. I just find it funny. It's not like sometimes I'll like mute an AI account and I'll like scroll through my likes looking for something, and then I'll see like a muted, like I like something from a muted account. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, whoops. AI moment. But yeah, okay. Me in terms of seasonals, a little behind. On some things. Uh, I guess we didn't talk about. Yeah, we just didn't have an episode last week, but episode 3 of Lazarus. Just kind
So
of meh. I haven't seen
yeah, I don't
episode
know.
4 yet. I
I
just
haven't
don't.
seen it either.
Yeah, I just don't fuck with this show. I don't think. Like, I
I'll
mean,
keep
there's.
watching it just cause, but like I don't know. I don't like it that much.
It's like episode 3 was just full of so many things where it's like, oh, well, that's convenient, isn't it? And it's just
Yeah.
that for an entire episode. Like, I just don't. The world is uninteresting. The characters, I definitely don't give a fuck about. Every
Yeah,
now
I don't
you'll
like
get
it.
like a quick like little treat of an action sequence every now and then for like 5 seconds, and then you're back to just not giving a shit. It's just not very uninspiring anime. Like the entirety, a little spoiler for Lazarus, I guess. The entirety of episode 3 just hinges on our main characters conveniently knowing other people. Um, like it's episode starts, it's like, oh, we need to go find this guy, but he's like homeless now, I think. And then they're like, oh, well, conveniently, I know the leader of this homeless camp. And then they go to that homeless camp, and that lead person's like, oh yes, of course, I know that person. And then they find them, of course, in this specific homeless camp that this specific person is the leader of. And they find them like, oh yes, of course, I know the like doctor that they're trying to search for. I know his grandmother that nobody else fucking knows. And then they have to go across the world to go talk to her. And it's like the people that jump them in like where'd they go? Istanbul or something, I think is where they went. Um they get jumped in Turkey. And of course the people who jump them know the fucking grandma. And so they get to go to the grandma. It's like, okay, like relax a little bit. It's just a series of dominoes that just are way too conveniently lined up. And
I
it
like
kind of
that.
takes me out of the storytelling.
Yeah. I was like kind of because last time you hadn't seen episode 2, right? I think last time we
Yeah, I think
um
last time we talked about it, I don't think I'd seen
yeah.
episode 2.
Did you think that there was like a huge drop in animation quality from 1 to 2, or like because I noticed a small amount. I saw a lot more on like Twitter and stuff about it, but I don't know if you noticed that as well. Like just
Um, every now,
I don't know.
I didn't
Yeah.
think it was a crazy drop. It definitely didn't look like as
Yeah.
fluid. I was like, I don't know. Production's been fine for me. Nothing's
Yeah.
been like crazy standout. Um, everything about this is just like okay, I guess.
Yeah. It's very feels very average to me. Whatever.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
continue with my slice of life has been carried in the season for me. So this is where we are right now. Um, let's see what else did I do in this. I guess I would have just continued watching a multitude of things. Episode 2 of the Licorice Recoil little shorts thing was pretty fun. I liked that a lot more than the first one. Unfortunately, they're still tiny, so I can't really get much out of them, but they're fun. Um, yeah. Ninkoro's still fun. Mono had a very fun episode recently. It was like literally just an entire episode dedicated to referencing Yuru Camp, but it was still really good. Um, and then I'm still having fun with Food for the Soul. So just having a lot of general fun with the slice of life stuff, which is which makes it hard to talk about because like there's not a whole lot to talk about with them, especially beyond like the general premises of them. So I can only for Mono say so much like, oh yes, the photography stuff in this episode was cool because like yeah, I mean that's just the premise. I talked about that for episode 1. I don't want to like rehash that over and over again.
Right.
Ninkoro is funny and well made, and that it stays true the whole time. And Food for the Soul is just cute and fun. But yeah, I mean those things are likely not going to change. So it's difficult to bring them up unless they like disappoint me in some capacity, which they haven't done. So they're just things I continue to watch. I have like no particularly strong. There's not like a show right now that like on a week to week basis is like blowing me out of the water. It's just everything is like in a status quo right now, where I either really like it just on a general level, or I just don't really fuck with it. But it's I didn't
Yeah.
really do anything else besides watch.
Yeah, me neither. Lazarus was the only one, but I'm, I guess, still an episode behind because I watched one last week. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we did not choose. I thought about choosing it as the what's it called. I'm glad we did not do that.
Yeah. I actually also thought about it, but it's whatever.
Yeah,
That's fine.
bullet dodged.
I've been enjoying all of the our required homework.
Yeah, I like these shows.
I guess speaking of the shows, I guess we can just hop into them. We'll be discussing them for
Let's
a little
do it.
bit. Wait, I always forget to get the list thing out. Random list.
The wheel.
Well, we'll see if it generates the exact same list again. Watch your format somewhere pockets. And we get a slight change up this time. We still start with Witch Watch, but this time we discuss Your Forma second and Summer Pockets third.
Honestly, that's probably a little fitting. I feel
There is
like
going to be a bit more to talk about with
Summer
Summer
Pockets actually
Pockets.
has a good amount to talk about this time. Partially because we had 2
Yes.
episodes to talk about.
Yes. And I mean, Your Forma we have had one since we last recorded, I think.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, since we're doing it a little early this week. So yeah, we
Yeah.
so happened to have 2 shows that have technically less to talk about, though I'm sure Your Forma will still get a discussion out of it, despite
Yeah,
it
that
only being one
shows
episode.
there's a lot.
Yeah, alright. We'll just start with Witch Watch. Okay, so episode... Let's try, I guess we go by episode. Episode 3,
Yeah, do that.
we started with her... I guess it's like more of a slice of life segment where they're in the house, and she... I suppose is trying to woo him, but
Yep.
she uses the clothing spell. Only fucking
Only
copies
the front.
only the front part.
Convenient.
I don't know about convenient. more
Well, I
very.
mean, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like super. I mean, that's super tropey, but I don't know. It's just
It's
like,
a little I mean, I don't
yeah,
think
I don't know. You know.
it's definitely tropey, but the mechanism behind it, I guess, isn't as
Yeah.
expected. Um, yeah, that was certainly a part of the episode for sure. Very. I feel like her magic has yet to like. I wonder. I'm just waiting for the day her
Useful?
magic does something useful.
It's like
It's yet to
it's
happen.
funny because it's like genie magic, right?
It's got the monkey's paw attached to
Yeah.
everything.
She'll do the thing and then it'll be like, well, this
It technically works, just not.
is doing what it's supposed to do.
It just has a drawback to it always.
Which is funny in its own right. But at the same time,
Like surely we
I
had
agree.
she
I
goes
kind
through
of am
all this
waiting for the day.
all this witch training, and for what? So she used the most useless spells on planet Earth. She went to like silly school instead of actual witch school.
Yeah.
I like her spells. That's the best part of
I
the
mean
episode.
they're fun, obviously.
They're funny.
She's
She
gotta lock in one
when
day.
she splits herself into 2 little girls, and it's like, oh, we're doing the same amount of work, but there's 2 of us, and then she's like, the 2 brain cells rub together, and she's like, what if there were 4 of us?
It's like
It's
I wonder if
it's
she actually
comedy.
splits her intelligent, cause I don't know. She split herself into
That's what
2.
it felt
I
like.
feel like she definitely like instead of having one brain cell, she has half a brain cell per body, and so she's like, oh yes, of course, we've gotten nothing done here, so let's just get even smaller and have 4 of us. Which I mean, on a technical level, you are getting a better grip on it at the very least. It doesn't do
Yeah,
It's
anything
I
not
guess
for you.
useless.
four hands. Four hands better than two.
I
Yeah.
mean, certainly not useless. Her application of it was, of course, but it's like, if you were carrying anything other than big boxes, like I feel like it'd be more useful. Like, I don't know, if you lose something behind the couch and maybe you need like a smaller body to go get it, you split up real quick and then go get it, get back together. Um, she did. You know what? I think it does split the intelligence. She seemed to get
It
stupider as she
definitely
continues to split.
it definitely felt like it was splitting the intelligence because I thought that was the whole joke when the two of them were split up, and she was like, "Oh, it'd be more fun than the two of us and more efficient if there were now four of us." Like I kind of assumed part of that joke was her intelligence also being split up.
Yeah, I mean, dangerous spell for her. 'Cause I don't know. She can't get much stupider, I guess. She is already stupid, so I guess you're not losing a lot. Like, it's a very, what would you call it? Minimal
Listen,
loss.
she's doing her best.
Yeah.
She's doing her best. I love her for it.
And then, whenever she
Um,
did split up, I'm trying to think of what the fuck even happened after that. And I'm trying to figure it out by looking at the wiki, but it keeps freezing on me. Because there was like the prophecy with the dog or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah,
think she just meant
which
she's getting attacked
we're
by the
like
dog.
we're like in the middle of that arc too, which is at some point we'll like fully understand what's going on with the whole prophecy, but um
Because there's been
we
two
did
so
get
far,
the
right? Well, I mean, I guess
so
we're only on three.
yeah,
Yeah. Episode three.
there's
Yeah.
like the big overall prophecy, which I don't think we've gotten, but it's basically like that's like the whole reason why she has all the protectors, right?
Mhm.
Um, then there's like the current dog and rain prophecy. And then it wasn't really a prophecy, but them being like there's an enemy in the school was also a thing.
She got a whole lot of problems going on. You would think theoretically,
Yeah.
like, surely sending her over there is not the game plan. Then just keep her in the witch village. Am I crazy?
So yeah, I don't know because it's like the thing that I feel like they haven't really told us is like why there's all this like danger surrounding her. Because it's shonen, right? So my first
It,
instinct is she gonna be like significant to like society or like which society or you know what I mean? So I guess to me it's still a question of is she special or is she just unlucky? What's making it so her life is just in danger constantly? We don't know yet, I don't think. I don't remember anything in specific telling us. But if she's someone significant, then I also assume that there's some sort of significance to her like leaving the village and going back into the world. But if she's not someone significant, I kind of agree with you.
yeah, I don't. I definitely need more information because for right now, it's just like, okay, there's gonna be this disaster. And if you really need, like, maybe instead of like magic to protect her, you just need straight hands, and that's why you sent her to the ogre. Like clear, because in the witch village or whatever, like we saw in episode 4 that she did hang out with uh the new guy Conchi,
Yeah.
who's not a witch.
They set him up as also childhood friend, which I just think is funny.
So like,
Um,
clearly other people can be in the witches thing, like other races. So we could have just brought
we could have brought him to
Morihito
her.
over there instead, because then like then there's no enemy in the school. Like, you don't have to deal with that. The whole
Well, yeah,
reason,
the enemy in the school thing is also what makes it really interesting because it's like you said, why is she out and about? I feel like there's got to be some significance to that. Maybe not even significance that's mentioned, but
And like in episode 4, the whole reason she got jumped at the end of the episode by the clothing guy, was, I mean, it seemed like her mom sent her a package, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't actually, but either way, that guy like hid inside of the package and then jumped her like that.
Yep.
So I just, clearly these like security risks would not be a problem if she was just not there. If
was
we
just
just,
home.
we just left her home. Yeah, I just don't see the.
Also,
Don't see the
like,
need.
she just left home and has already been targeted at least once. That also makes me suspicious of something. I don't know what, but
I don't know. The plot setup leaves a lot of questions, and then they could mean
it's
literally
very much
nothing.
feels like it's it really feels like it's kind of slow burning the like big plot setup, which is fine because it feels like this is more of like we're gonna have fun with the spell of the day and then like trickle in some plot here and there, right? At least for the moment.
Which I think is
So it
fine.
does feel
I
like
mean,
it's taking its
I
time
like
telling
it.
us a lot of this stuff, which I'm fine with. We did get to meet the new Tengu guy, which is kind of fun.
Yeah,
I liked him.
I like him. I like the umbrella. That guy's a goat.
The umbrella might
That
be.
is honestly the closest she's had to a useful spell, because it didn't cause any
Yeah, yeah,
problems,
yeah. That's
technically.
actually that's the best one.
It didn't cause any. It actually solved the issue.
It did help
You
solve
know.
the issue. Very unintentionally, but it did help solve the issue.
So when we put it that way, the umbrella has been the peak of her magic so far.
Or if that umbrella is going to stay with us. Or if it's
I
gone
hope the
now.
umbrella stays with us.
Dude, I love him. I love him.
If if the umbrella stays with us, this show goes up like half a rating point from whatever it was before. It's very important that the umbrella stays.
Look at the character. I'm going to see if the umbrella's in the character list. He has a voice. I mean, theoretically, he should be listed here somewhere.
It is listed on the manga page, but
I don't see him in the anime
um,
page.
you have to scroll a decent amount,
I'm
which is
like looking
concerning because there's a
around. I
lot of
still don't see
characters.
him.
There's a lot of characters on. I found it, but there's a lot of characters on this anime page that I haven't met yet, and he's still all the way down there. So
Yeah. Where the fuck do you see it on the anime one?
he's on the left side. When I'm scrolling on my tall monitor, he's like right next to the streaming links when there's two things. If there's three things, he's in the middle right next to the tags.
The middle next to the tags. Oh, okay. Dude, I like scrolled past him
It's not
multiple
a great
times.
picture
It's
to
a
like
terrible picture,
find.
dude. I thought that was like a hot
Yeah.
dog or something. I like. I mean, he's a supporting character, not like a background. Surely we keep him around.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel. He's like one of the last written supporting characters. Um so I don't know. There's also a lot of credited supporting characters. They kind of just said if you have a voice, might be a supporting character. No, the boys are background characters.
I don't fucking know. There's called Shonen, just young boy. Yeah, young
They
boy.
are just called shonen.
They're
Oh
not even
man,
cool enough to get names. Yeah, we'll see. You never know. Umbrella could come back and be very important. You never know.
I hope so. I'm tempted to tag Lugia with it right now,
Just
just
ask
to
him.
mess with him
Will the
mostly.
will Umbrella Man stick around? I feel like
All I
I
want
could
is
see it being a recurring gag, but not like a important
I hope
character.
it's yeah. I think it'd be more fun if it's like every so often and not just like, well, the umbrella is sentient now. It just
Maybe he just
always
like goes to live his life now. Like we'll just see him again. He has like an umbrella wife and children. I don't know.
just heads off.
Just heads off, lives his own life. He's sentient now. I mean, nothing's stopping him. I mean, the lack of opposable thumbs that definitely doesn't help, but you never know.
Does not help.
So does he have function as an umbrella? Like, can he open himself?
Didn't he?
I mean, he was using an
Oh,
umbrella in the episode.
That's true, but
yeah,
can he do it himself though?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think so, right? Because he can't click the button. Maybe it depends on what type of umbrella he is.
Yeah,
Does he have a button? Yeah, does he have a button, or is he's a manual?
I don't think so. It looks like a very primitive version of an umbrella. It's just like,
Whoa.
Primitive. You
I
calling him
mean,
old?
Primitive.
yeah, unk. Yeah.
Yeah. Like an
Who
umbrella.
wins in a fight? One gorilla or 100 umbrellas?
Oh no, don't start. That's my
No,
entire.
we can start because Daniel and I are on the opposite side of history with this one.
Humans easily beat gorillas.
Yeah, I agree.
Like 100 people.
In
Dude,
a fist fight,
humans used to hunt
no
woolly
weapons,
mammoths. Why can't they beat a gorilla? Come on.
no weapons.
Yeah, there's no weapons involved, but we still like 100
That's
is a lot
funny.
of 100 is a lot of people.
I'm on the side of Pokemon versus the Lions too.
I'm
so
also
who am
on the
I?
side of Pokemon versus the Lion. There's a difference, right? Like, so someone tried to pull
There's
this on
definitely
me.
a difference.
I think it was AJ actually. I don't know. There's a difference, but Pokemon have magic and shit. You know, it's different. But
Yeah, there's superpowers.
like
It's
What?
definitely
hand
different.
to hand combat, like human 100 people versus one single gorilla. It's like a gorilla's cooked.
So this comes back to our previous Komodo dragon conversation, right? From
right.
episode
True.
7. I don't know. It was.
I think it was. I actually listened to
That's an
our
easy
tier
episode
list,
for people to find.
recently, just for their
Um,
third year's coming up. But I think it was episode 6.
episode 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Similarly to that, the core of my issue with this is how does the human side effectively deal damage to the gorilla?
Well, I mean, if you beat like death by 1,000 cuts, if like we have 100 people beating the shit out of this gorilla, like surely they're not like impervious to damage.
No, they're not.
Are
I mean,
there?
they're definitely
They're
not
gonna have
impervious to
soft
damage,
spots.
but
Like
at
you
the
can't
same
just be a
time,
shell of
Bro, they have
gorilla.
balls. Like,
Yeah,
oh, we don't have to.
okay.
rip his balls off. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, ironically.
I mean, fair point. I'm not sure. 100's not that many people.
Well, I mean, still, like let's say for argument's sake that one gorilla is worth 10 people. You still have 10 times the amount of that gorilla. Like it's just not going to be able to deal with 100 people. All right. Well, if everyone is locked in attacking this gorilla, it won't stand a chance because it's just surrounded. It has to choose what to do. It's not going to be able to do that.
I did remember seeing someone saying that, specifying that it had to be all 100 people and not just 1v1s 100 times, which
Yeah,
I
if it
respect
was
that
100
differentiation.
1v1s, it would be different. But if
Yeah.
but if it's all 100 at once, like someone can rip out its balls, someone can get its eyes, like it has weak points that we can exploit. We're gonna lose people on the way, but we're gonna kill the gorilla at the end of it.
Yeah, definitely going to lose people. Those first 3 that march up, not march up, it's a full group, but
Yeah, whoever's at the front lines like has to make
the
first
first.
contact with a gorilla up front or cooked, but like after that, I think you lose like maximum 10 people. Like you gotta lose some frontliners, and then you gotta like start to hold the gorilla down. There'll be some resistance, but you can.
I feel like you lose a lot more than 10. At the very least. Maybe I'm overestimating how strong a gorilla is, but I feel like a gorilla could just one tap some people.
I mean, people can one tap you. Like it's not impossible by any
Yeah.
means, but it's like, it's still just a gorilla. It didn't have like, I don't know. It is anyway.
Yeah, but he can smash people's heads like a coconut easily. Say coconut. Coconut's kind of hard to break. Anyway.
Not for a gorilla.
Yeah, probably not for a gorilla, honestly. But like, I think we're overestimating gorillas here. Anyway, anime podcast, not gorilla fighting podcast.
Yeah, but I couldn't resist poking the bear or the gorilla in this case.
Yeah, could
It's
100
not like this.
magical anime umbrellas beat one gorilla? Who knows? We don't know his
Probably
strength,
not.
honestly. We haven't seen him fight, so we have no reference.
That's true. We don't know. Um, I kind of still don't feel like, speaking of not seeing them fight, the Tengu guy didn't really like fight in that episode. I'm kind of curious how like strong he's supposed to be because he kind of just played support role.
He
I don't
seems weak.
I don't feel like he's gonna have like crazy hands, but he'll probably like be generally useful.
He'll be generally useful, yeah. I mean, he's part of the main squad, so
His superpower or his power is just that he's like a really friendly guy. I mean, so we saw at the end.
yeah.
Yeah, they whipped out the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yep.
Tengus are cool. I'm kind of happy that they made like a Tengu based character because it's not like it's part of the joke of the character is like the why is everyone talking about ogres and demons but not Tengus, but also like people don't really talk about or use Tengus in a lot of stuff, so it's kind of a fun I guess race
Creature,
to
folklore,
use.
tale.
I still have a lot of questions about like the familiar culture or whatever with this because he was another one who was just like, yeah, my family does that, family familiars, and it's like, okay, fair, but also, what the why? What is a familiar in like a general sense? It's not an important question at all. I don't know. It just
I
bothers
mean,
me.
yeah, the only definition I know of it from like context of witches is just like they protect the witch. I mean, like in like other
Yeah, like they use the word
yeah, but I don't
familiar,
know.
and
Yeah,
then in reality, it feels like the application in this is more like bodyguard
I mean, they said
or like
bodyguard
protector.
mostly throughout like episode 4. So
Yeah, that is true. But then I just feel to this point, I just feel like familiar to me has always been a word that's more like tied to magic in a way where it's like in my head, if they're her familiars, they're like magically connected to her, which isn't the case potentially. Maybe it is. But we haven't seen any like magic ritual or anything like that.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, if there is a magical ritual involved, we probably don't want to fuck with it, considering who our magical user is. But
Yeah, she's gonna be useful eventually, I'm sure. I
she needs to
believe.
like try and be useful to the enemy, and then like accidentally like do something stupid to them. Because I mean, honestly, like everything she does has some kind of monkey's paw attached. So if you try to be helpful to the opposing side, you're gonna monkey's paw them in some capacity.
Yeah, I like that it's very like monkey's paw based in a way that it's also like her understanding of the spells creates like half of that issue or lack thereof.
I don't know. I mean, it feels like sometimes she does understand, but she's not like thinking about it in the moment.
Yeah.
So
Like the first episode with the mug thing where it's like, "Oh yeah, I can fix your mirror. I just need something you care about very dearly.
yeah,
The more you love it, the better."
yeah. She it's almost like she goes about like expecting other people to understand the drawbacks to what she does. Um, like it's very natural to her, but to everyone else, obviously, it's like, well, wish you would have told me about the drawback, of course.
Yeah, it's a fun
All right,
show.
all right.
I'm glad this has two cores for the
yeah.
fact that it's like because we know it's kind of taking its time. I'm also not looking at like, oh no, we're a third of the way through the show, right? Instead, it's oh, we're like a sixth of the way. and we're like introduced to the three mains. We understand them pretty well. I say the three mains. I don't think it's just these three. I think this is like a 5 character,
We'll
because it
definitely
always has the
get
same 5
more.
characters on like the promos and everything.
Yeah, no,
At
we'll
least there's
definitely get
5
more.
characters I've seen more.
All right. Your Forma, episode 4
I'm
specifically,
fresh
TR
off of
number
this
3.
episode. I watched it.
I'm also pretty
We actually
fresh.
delayed.
Get
We
out
actually
there.
delayed starting because I was
Yeah,
watching it.
technically, yeah.
We finished the arc,
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
got an
and
explanation
we
to one of our
got a
questions.
lot.
What
Yeah,
was the significance of the wine bottle? Literally nothing. It was what was
the
next to the
wine
wine
bottle was
bottle.
not what it was.
Yeah, they did not show us
Yeah.
what was actually catching his attention, which is a little annoying actually, but because I feel like you create like the same amount of questioning and mystery if you like show her in the what's it called, like the restaurant beforehand. Like we see
Part of
the
me
Yeah, or
wanted
you could
to
show
go
like
back.
a silhouette of a person, like I don't know, something like that, like the wine
Well,
bottle.
they
Like
showed the
how in the
guy holding the wine
yeah the
bottle,
yeah,
wine
just
bottle
which I
is
guy,
like
assume.
like
very inconvenient. Like it was like I don't know. It's like setting up Chekhov's wine bottle, but like the wine bottle didn't mean anything. It was the Chekhov's wine drinker.
yeah,
Yeah,
I almost wonder how
but
that like comes across in like written form. Like did the like is this more of
like
just
you just looked across.
like a
Yeah,
storyboard directorial like issue like rather than a storytelling thing? Which I mean it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day we're watching the anime, but there are definitely better ways to get that across. But yeah,
yeah.
it's very odd like dynamic I feel like between the one dude and I don't well, there's a lot of like
It's
weird moral implications between everything that was happening. Like
I like don't know what side I should be on with everything that happened.
I feel like I'd
So
more
like,
know of still like if we had I mean this always goes back to if we had volume 1, but like theoretically like Harold not even directly just Harold is his existence is like breaking like international law basically
yes,
because of how
that's
he's
like the
coded.
bottom line.
But at the same time, like he's probably not causing issues, but he could be. Um,
She also had that like speech at the end, which I'm still kind of trying to fully process, where she basically called
the
the
laws
laws
of
of
respect.
respect
What I feel like she was
a
trying
sham.
to say is like we don't like the laws of respect don't exist because like if you program a robot to be like a toaster, then like it's gonna perform as a toaster. Like it doesn't have the thoughts to
Yes.
go do have the capacity to think of anything other than being a toaster. But like um so it just kind of comes down to like what are these robots programmed to do? Um, so I mean, I guess in a sense, it's like I don't know. Like all the like she's I guess she most specifically said for the mass-produced Amicus, they don't like they all just have like more of a specific programming. Um,
yeah,
Yeah,
which
it seemed like what she basically said is that there is no like specific like program for the laws of respect or anything like that, right? It's just like you said, they're programmed to be toasters, so it doesn't come up
right,
in like a in like that type of way. And so her thing with the RF models is basically I didn't program toasters,
yeah, like
and
she's
so
basically tried
that's
to
why
program
they're
like actual
capable.
humans. But she also has like the second layer of code, I guess, that like sits on top of it, like the I guess like a more vanity layer
Hmm.
where the AI committee thinks that like I mean he's not a toaster, but like for argument's sake, they think he's a toaster basically. Like they don't think he has the capacity to
Well, it's also because she said that, like, the way she explained it to me with the laws of respect is basically like they're taught um to obey those things in the same way that like we as people are taught not to murder,
Right.
right? And so the RF models, in like the same way that like despite the fact that we're all taught not to murder people, it's still like possible for them to murder people in the same way that like humans murder people, not like the robots murder. It basically felt like it was a big almost allegory for like nature versus nurture. And like what it felt like to me is it was like the committee is feeding the people the idea that like the amicuses obey the laws of respect because it's in their nature, but in reality they obey the laws of respect because they're toasters and they're like nurtured to like believe that that's outside of the realm of what they can do.
Right, because I mean, you see it like kind of works with Harold because in the previous episode he just fucking stood still and did nothing
He
while
just
he
froze up.
all the
Yeah.
bad, yeah, he just doesn't do anything. And it's like in his head, I guess he's like thinking like, oh, I can't do that, too bad.
Yeah.
Um,
But we know from what she said and just the capabilities of his brothers that like he
he
could have done that
right, but he did not. And it's
physically.
now interesting that like his brothers are like out of the picture, so he is the only robot with like functionality beyond being a toaster.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Which
think. Oh god.
I was gonna say, which will probably be significant, I assume. I don't see any reason, obviously, why it wouldn't be. Maybe not in like the coming arc or so,
Right.
but it's definitely feels like the type of thing that's like, okay, we're gonna take a break from the RF model witch hunt, but also like we'll come back to it in the sense of like people specifically like targeting this model because of the things that are special about it. Even though in theory the only two people that know about it are in prison, one of them potentially dead.
I think they're both alive.
I
Which
also got the impression that they were both alive.
I feel like you'd want the other guy dead though if you're trying to like hide things.
So that brought up something confusing to me, which is like this a volume one moment, I'm sure. The technology of this world. When she like erased their memories or whatever it was she did, they used that really like weird MN word.
Symes or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever
To,
that it's less erasing memories and more like getting rid of the ability to like dive into those memories specifically, I guess.
yeah. But that's like so in the example of him then, right? So
Right.
she erased those so people couldn't dive into either of their brains. Fair enough. But if he's then alive, what really stops him from at least like I mean I don't know how due process or anything works in this world either, I suppose, but what stops him for at least being like this is why I did it? And stuff like that.
Why actually, you know what? Here's my why wouldn't he just like try and cooperate with the AI like committee? Be like, hey, I have if we can just get this guy, I have undeniable like proof basically that this
Yeah.
AI is dangerous, and they would probably be like, oh, all right, but sure, let's find
It
out.
does feel like he took a really weird like
He took a very
also unethical approach.
Yeah, he took a very backwards approach to like attempting to like expose this when you could very easily just like I mean, he's been in like the research fields before, so like he has to have some kind of level of connection. And even if he doesn't really have connections, I don't know, you got to be able to get to somebody and be like, "Hey, this model, I worked on the team that created them and
I
they are
know
no
more about
bueno.
this than yeah.
Like we need to if you
Um
look at beyond the source code, then, you know, but he didn't do that. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna like kidnap
He just
someone,
wanted this really oddly, yeah, he just
murder
wanted this really
people.
oddly specific revenge on the woman that he had the weirdest not relationship with.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know. She
It
basically
was weird.
like had a love confession to him in episode 4, which fair enough. Um, but it's like one of those things where I'm like, are we gonna keep like playing with the fact of like neither of them wants to say that anything romantic was happening here, but then it's like clearly something romantic was happening here, even if they weren't like a couple. It's not really important per se,
Yeah, I just don't.
but still.
I feel like the motivations are a little all over the place because, like, you definitely could have, if you wanted to expose her research, you definitely could have done that without murdering multiple people and then like kidnapping someone else and trying to force them to like I don't know
Yeah,
what she
seizing
was.
the robot to try and get the data yourself and
Yeah, just like literally go to the authorities and you win. Like literally, no one's gonna be able to stop you.
yeah, which is maybe the logic that behind him even without them being able to access his memories, just basically having no say, or like he can't be like, this is the confession of everything why I did everything I did, right? Maybe they just don't believe his ass because of all the crazy shit.
Yeah, like you don't really. I mean, you don't have to believe him. Like if he says something, like even now,
Yeah,
like if he's still alive, then like he literally could just be like, "Hey, this
well,
guy
that's what
has
I'm saying.
this
If
guy's got
he's
fake
still
gold."
alive, I feel like just removing the ability to dive into his brain doesn't solve the issue. But that's just my opinion on this.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
agreeing
I'd
with
say
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say the I mean, um kind of the I think yeah, last week I mentioned that like the whole thing about like the human versus robot technology thing and like how human actually is um you know are these robots like how human actually are they? I think that was like a question that I like always had and like I mean I haven't mentioned much
it's
about
like
this
both answered
episode.
and not. Yeah,
Yeah, it like answered a lot, but it like created more questions because it's just like especially in like the middle part, obviously when they were talking when they were having that discussion, but like about like how like what the difference is between them and humans. But like I don't know, I feel like I even have like more questions now. It's just like I like this episode a lot because it like kind of made me more interested in the world and like it like answered enough to like it answered enough to satisfy me, but then didn't answer enough to make me uninterested. So now I'm like still interested in like learning more about like how the
yeah,
like I guess, dichotomy of like the human aspects and the non-human aspects like actually manifest themselves in like later episodes.
yeah. Because the answer was basically like they're closer to humans than they
Kinda,
should
yeah,
be. But she literally talking to the detective was essentially like, don't underestimate how like special like
different humans
humans
are.
and
Yeah,
like being alive is, right? When talking about this, because the detective asked essentially that exact question of like, well, did you essentially just make humans? And she's like, no,
no,
not
yeah,
not really. Um, I'm interested where the story will go from here.
I mean,
I
I'm
yeah,
sure we'll
assume.
just jump into another mystery.
arc, yeah,
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Then this is where what I mentioned before, with it feeling like this could have been a cooler arc later in the series, depending on what the like next arc is. Because while like next mystery is cool, this felt like a very like
Consequential.
involved with the characters and like
Mhm.
consequential, and all of that. So it's like if we go from this and it's just like doesn't feel like it has that high of stakes, then I'll like even doubly feel the fact of like, well, this could have been a later arc in the series and had more implications. But This is a good arc.
We'll know by like I guess really next week maybe. I mean, like where we're starting to go at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like.
Then again, it might be nice to just have a normal detective arc for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely feels, especially like the last few minutes, just feel like that kind of almost like the ending to like. I mean, it is the ending to the arc, but it feels like a more like. I think it's just because it was so focused on the characters and like the nature. Like this episode, especially focused on the characters and like their nature. But it felt like, yeah, I agree with you that it feels um like it could have been later, and like I am curious what they're gonna do in future episodes,
Yeah.
because it's probably not gonna be. I mean, I'd imagine it's not going to be as character focused. Maybe this arc is like supposed to introduce a lot about the characters, and then the subsequent arcs are going to be like just normal detective stuff. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah,
it
because
is
now
it is
we've
weird.
left off. Now we've left off on the point of like their partnership is pretty safe, and they both are on the page of like, I want to understand you
Mhm.
and get to like do more with you. So it is kind of fair to go from that and be like, okay, now we'll get into like more detective and solving stuff. We still don't, from these 4 episodes, still don't fully understand the brain dive and all of its capabilities.
I
We've
feel
seen
like
it
that's
used
probably
what,
something that's
twice?
more explained in fucking Volume 1, the classic.
Probably classic volume 1. But it was a good episode. It was nice to see this arc tied up.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about this. Is something I felt like the entire time watching the episode, and them throwing around the tablet and like delete it, don't delete it, everything. I don't know, me personally, how I feel about the detective's decision in the end to essentially just turn a blind eye to it and say like, this is my partner, I don't want to lose it.
right.
But it was also like, for the sake of the series, the only decision that really could be made. Just kind of from like a moral standpoint, I'm like, I kind of feel like morally I side more with the guy, but I also feel like he didn't do things correctly. But then also there's a question of if the RF models are basically like the closest emulation to like human life you can get.
Right.
Then now there becomes like a whole nother ethical issue. Might even come up later in the series, but a whole nother ethical issue of like, if Harold is capable of like true thought and like growth and learning, does, as like an amicus even, does he still have the right to like exist in the same way that a human would, right?
Right.
The ethics of like, because then it becomes ethics of like pulling the plug on a person, right? Um, something, at least in our society, you can't just kill people.
Right.
So I wonder, that'll, I would assume that would be a plot point at some point, like the information that's been being hidden now eventually in the series. Maybe not a point that we'll see or even is written yet, but that's brought out to the public, and then it becomes a big debate of like, is killing this specific existence the same weight and gravity as killing a human? And what does that mean from an ethics standpoint? Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think I think the my big thing is, I don't know that like my like personal code of ethics lines up, or like personality lines up with the main character, the detective, and that's fine.
Yeah,
It's
the
not like
ethics
a bad
debate with
thing
like
per se.
humans and robots, especially, it's just I don't know. It's not something I've thought about a lot, but
I guess like
yeah,
the thing
Like the
with
whole point
like
of a series like this too, though, right?
yeah,
I feel like the ethics behind keeping Harold, like the Because in a sense, like he hasn't done anything yet, and he's
Yes.
the only one physically capable of doing it. So it's like you can't punish him for like a maybe.
Well, this is the exact reason why it's an ethical debate, right? Because he hasn't done anything yet. But the fact, like this, is a whole like underlying debate in the episode too, right?
I
Is
mean,
the
everyone has
guy
the
wants,
capacity to do something.
yeah, the guy wants the robot shut down because they're capable of doing things that Amicus aren't allowed to and shouldn't be able to do, and she wants them to live because they're capable of doing those things, but at the same time they don't do those things because of like some issue with their code or like because they're inherently evil. They do those things because they're capable of higher thought in the same way that like a person would be. So like that's essentially the whole debate of this episode, like the clash of their morals is behind the idea of like if Harold should be shut down because he's capable of breaking the laws of respect and the status quo that's been set for Amicus, or if he should be allowed to live because he hasn't actually broken any of that.
Yeah, I guess like another
Which
point
I
that
guess when
you
you put it that
made was like talking about like their black box. I guess what makes them more dangerous with the capacity to like be able to do things is that you don't know, like their thoughts extend so far beyond like a normal human's that like you have no idea what they're thinking.
I
It's
did
like
think it was. I thought it was confusing that like he kept arguing that one of the issues, and like inherently I get it, but he kept arguing that one of the issues with this model was that their black box was too big. But he would only say that part, right? He wouldn't say why the black box being too big was an issue. There's just multiple times in the episode where he was just like, I was against this idea because their black box would be too big.
yeah, I don't know
And I was,
specifically what that means.
yeah,
I
I was
interpret it
confused if,
more
yeah,
like they're able to, like the black box being too big is they have like too wide a range of thought, I guess, for like
yeah,
Yeah.
what.
they're capable of too much.
uh,
How I took it too. Well, because at first I had the thought of like, is that a resource issue? But then it's like, no, they only made 3 of them. That wouldn't make any sense if that was the debate.
yeah, I don't think it's a resource thing. I think it's more of like these models are like lightly newer than other ones, and the only reason they were made to begin with was so they could like give them to like royalty. It's like
Hmm.
a super gift. Which makes me even more interested how they end up, like where they like how did Bro end up as like a cyber detective if he was a gift for royalty initially, but whatever. We'll never know.
Well, he doesn't. He belongs to that one girl, doesn't he? The one that was attacked,
I have
like
no idea.
officially.
I have no idea. I mean probably I think, but
I don't know like who that lady is, but
yeah, there's like multiple side characters we just don't actually know like the specifics of, and it bothers me.
yeah, and I that I assume is a volume 1 moment, but hopefully that would be a nice thing if the next arc is a more like
If it's just volume
chill
one, can we
standard.
just go back
If
go back to volume
it's
one?
just volume 1,
Neutral.
that would not be okay. But if it is another like more standard type thing, then maybe the trade-off will be we actually get like a good meaning and understanding of the side characters. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Be
Alright.
okay with it.
And then our next 2 episodes to
Final one.
discuss with Summer Pockets. We
I
spent more
yeah,
than 5 minutes with a character in these 2 episodes, so there's a fair bit
yeah,
more there.
actually,
We spent a whole
a
like
lot of
I
time.
spent a lot of time with Black Hair.
I'm starting to like the show more. I feel like the first 2 episodes were like kind of like
first two
I don't know. I
episodes
just
weren't
wasn't
exactly
into it.
confusing, but they didn't
It's
I
just
think
like.
like
they
a bunch
definitely
of random characters,
yeah, they
and
should
like I
have
don't know what
been
was going on, but
combined,
like
I think, as episode 1,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
that might
Yeah.
have worked. Yeah.
I feel like episode 3 and 4 like were benefited considerably from having like a focus point.
Yeah, 100%. That being said, what happened to that little like blue dog thing? Have we seen him? Did I
We haven't
miss him?
seen it.
I don't think we've
We
seen
have
it
not seen it.
Oh,
since.
that's the goat. Yeah, whatever.
For
Anyway, but
sure
yeah, I
enough.
thought that the thing about like the adventure and like well, I guess that was like more episode 4, but like um yeah, focusing on the black hair character and like actually having like something to do, I guess, or like kind of like a goal or
Like a
something that made it a
plot,
lot better.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Even if
Plot, yeah,
it's just like
exactly.
a like small subplot, and I feel like
Yeah, I guess
the
like an overarching thing, but like I don't know, something to like go towards is like made this way more interesting for me.
It raises
Even
a
if it was
bunch of
meaningless,
like,
yeah.
yeah. It raises a bunch of flags in my head, but they don't mean anything now. I'm
Well,
suspicious
flags.
of visual novels. There's always a catch. There's always a catch. Um, why does she just go to the port instead of going home? Why does she always have a suitcase? Is she alive? Is anyone alive?
I think she's fine.
What is this
They
island?
all dead.
She's like the
I had
least
the
mysterious character so far.
something about it gave me the feeling of you know that old creepypasta theory about I don't think this is what this show's about, but that old creepypasta theory about Ed, Edd and Eddie being a like purgatory, like the whole setup just being a bunch of
Oh,
they were
yeah,
all
yeah,
like in purgatory. And
yeah, yeah.
something about this just something about her like being weird and mysterious just gave me that like maybe this island is where
Yeah,
dead
I don't know,
people
like
come.
the part in the end about like going to a pirate ship, that was also kind of like not random, but like I don't know, it's just weird. I mean, I don't think it's likely, but I don't know, maybe who knows?
I don't think what I'm saying is right. I think what I'm saying is nonsense, but um visual novels do weird things in that sense, like with
Yeah.
supernatural stuff and everything. So I
Mhm.
am kind of expecting some sort of like, especially with this episode, making it somewhat clear that either our main character has some form of memory loss,
I
Yeah.
don't. Okay,
or
I'm gonna let me be upfront about this. This is just a dog shit trope that I hate. Every main character always forgets their. It's like the whole concept of like a Nisekoi,
yeah,
basically, is that the main character don't fucking remember anything. I think that's
yeah.
basically what happened here. I don't think there's like any. I don't think it's anything supernatural. I think he's
I
just.
don't think there's anything, any
I
catch. He's
think he
just
just
stupid.
somehow
That's fair.
forgot a core memory because of anime, of course.
Yeah.
Um,
I
uh,
guess that's fair.
because if we had an episode last week, I was gonna talk about this because it got more explicitly stated in episode 4 that like he was the
It's
like he was
clearly
there.
him.
Yeah, like obviously
Yeah.
it's him. But like, episode 3 was more dropping hints to it, and I was gonna complain about that last week. Because I felt even though it didn't explicitly say episode 3 dropped like 3 hints that it's like very clear that he's been to this island before and he knows
Yeah.
this girl, but he doesn't fucking remember because of course he doesn't. Um, yeah, it's just I hate that trope. I really do. It's not like a big deal, but it does grind my gears anytime people just like forget like you'd remember like
I
it,
would remember going to the island at least.
I
I'd probably see the little like pirate symbol and be like, "Oh yeah,
you no you
I did
wouldn't
that."
just see like, oh, we hid things in places. He was one of the people that hid the key. He had to have remembered like one of the places, surely. Like he hid a key very specifically. There's no way he did not remember which one he hid. Because he would have gone to what were all the places? They were in the chicken coop. You definitely would have remembered if you put like a little bag up in a chicken coop. Um, Underneath the shrine, which I don't know how the fuck that bag stayed there for 10 years, but shout out to that bag for
Yes.
not moving. Um,
There's like all of those bags, the spots they were at, I was kind of like that doesn't make sense that it would still be there,
The
like,
chicken coop, I
untouched.
can see it being there untouched.
Do you think the chicken coop's not had like a single repair or anything
Well, clearly
in
not,
10
because they
years?
put it up at the ceiling that was very broken.
Yes. That's my point. I don't think I just don't believe that little chicken coop
I think it's more likely
would
that
survive 10
it could
years.
be in the ceiling of a chicken coop as
It's more
opposed to like
likely,
underneath the
yeah, it's more
stairs.
likely than the
In the
yeah, I
birdhouse,
would agree with that.
maybe I could see. I can't remember where the last place was. Oh, the doghouse. They're lucky as shit that dog had that same doghouse for 10 years.
I'm glad that it at least seemingly was the same dog.
Yeah.
Just because that made it fun to me. It's like, oh, okay, the dog's still there. The whatever behind it. Um, we didn't get so we got a lot of the black haired character. She's fun. We didn't really get much of the other ones
It's
Yeah,
the
a
white
little
hair
except
bit.
one.
for Radar.
Radar.
Yeah.
Radar.
I like whenever she's surprised, the eyes, I like how her eyes become like. I have to find a picture of it. Yeah. Um, I like that. Um, I'll find a picture of it. I think it's cute.
It's like a closet goober. He's like
I
going through
did laugh
things.
when his dumbass jumped into the water as
Yeah,
if he was gonna have his heroic moment and then remembered, oh yeah, I have trauma.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. The swim meet or whatever.
I'm
It
wondering
it
what
felt
happened there.
suspicious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't get that. I like.
it felt suspicious only because it was like we haven't even learned enough of the trauma for you to be able to swim in your heroic moment. So why are we doing this? And so when he then almost drowned, I was like, ah, that's why we're doing it. We're introducing the trauma.
Yeah, I don't. I will find out eventually. I mean, I think whenever it probably comes around whenever we get white hair girl's arc, I guess. Which I'm wondering how all these arcs are gonna, because there's 26 episodes of this shit, but like it feels like we're on black hair girl's arc. I wonder if there's more beyond this.
I wonder if it's gonna kind of like Frankenstein a couple of the arcs so we get like a quality amount of time with all of the characters. Um as opposed to like purely doing the white hair girls arc.
I mean, it's kind of like Clannad did, where like there are definitely events in, because like Clannad follows like Nagisa's arc like prominently, like as like the end game, um, but there's still other arcs attached in there that it kind of weaves some of the other characters into, so it'll probably do something similar to that.
That's what this felt like to me, is that it was like, okay, we're setting up black haired girls arc to be like a plot point that we deal with during this. But also I'm not gonna be fooled. This will be the white haired girls anime. We all know this.
Yeah, I mean, even like looking at the opening, and she's also like, I don't know, the most distinct in a sense, I feel like, just because she has the white hair, but she's definitely endgame here.
Yeah, I
I
would
think
agree
it's
with
her
that.
and black hair girl. I don't know this. Yeah, I feel like the purple hair girl, like the little kid, she's kind of irrelevant at this point. I don't know. We've just like seen her, but like
She
in every episode, but like she doesn't do much.
I feel like she's probably gonna have some sort of story significance,
She'll have
but at the same time,
something. It's like PK said. Maybe it's something supernatural. She's like actually the god of the island or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
of course. Yeah,
But I mean, even at the what was it, episode 2, at the start of that, where we had like a quick like flashback with her being neglected. Like she'll have a story arc in some capacity.
yeah,
I
sure,
think.
sure, sure.
I just don't know what that actually is. Which I guess her having a family would make it weird if she was the god of the island. So maybe not. I don't know. I'm interested in, we like passively mentioned the blue dog thing, but like surely that's
I have
important.
no idea what that is. Yeah,
That has to be important. Because like the weirdest
Yeah,
thing
because
is
it's like not a normal
it doesn't even
feature.
show up. Like we saw it with the blue hair girl, right? But like
Yeah.
we come
We
across
only
her.
saw it with the blue-haired girl during the nap too.
She comes across like multiple times more. Like we only saw her in episode 4 when they had to ask for her uniform or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
to trick the one. I don't know if that's her grandfather or did it say if she was living with her grandparents or parents. I don't remember.
I
Either
don't
way,
remember.
to like
I think it was her
Grandfather.
grandparents' store at least.
no, I meant the white hair girl. Like when
No,
they
it's
had to
a,
trick
Oh
her
when
yeah.
like
they had to get the school
father or
uniform
grand.
on.
Yeah,
So they said it was her grandfather in
okay.
Yeah.
dialogue.
I was gonna say I thought I remembered it being the grandparent, but I couldn't
Yeah.
remember. But yeah, they like tricked grandpa into thinking that they were like not outsiders to the island, so he'd actually call for.
I don't know how that works, but I mean how that worked, but it's stupid.
I mean,
But
I guess
yeah.
I get it. Like he thought they were outsiders. Like, oh, let's just show them we're not
It's
outsiders,
like
and then
the same I mean, okay, yeah, I guess. There's also only one of them that put on the school uniforms. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, you
okay,
only
anyway,
need one non-out. I don't know. It's like
Okay,
yeah,
but
weird in country xenophobia.
his reaction did not feel convinced. His reaction felt like,
Fuck it, whatever.
okay, fine, yeah. Like the reaction he had didn't give you the feeling of like, oh, they got him. It gave you the feeling of him being like, all right, you dumb kids, I'll let her come out. Um, I'm also curious. The pirates, right? Their little group of 5 kids. That was the pirate. So, I don't think any of the names they said were names of other characters on the island.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be seeing those other ones.
So I'm assuming we won't see them, but I did have the thought of like it would be fun if we saw them.
Yeah, they started like introducing all these characters. I'm like, oh shit, like, do we know you? Like, it's not
To
impossible they come
my
back,
knowledge,
but
it's no one we know. Yeah.
it's definitely not anyone we know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the purpose of giving them all like, especially like fucking Ninja Girl comes out of nowhere. I'm like, who are you?
Bro, I kind of want Ninja Girl.
We already got a ninja, and she's literally built exactly like Satoko from Ninkoro, except with purple
That
hair
is true.
instead of pink.
It's also a good show.
It's a great show.
I don't
Even.
remember if we've actually talked much about it, but
I've talked. I don't think we've heard your thoughts on it though. I
I don't
think you
know if
started
we've
watching
talked
it.
about it much. I did watch the first 2 episodes. Break from Summer Pockets for a second. I did watch the 2 episodes. Might be one of my, if not my favorite thing this season.
Yeah, Ninkoro's great.
I'm not super surprised because it was just a Shaft hot drop. Didn't know this was going to be a Shaft Shaft series this year, but we saw Shaft and knew like, okay, this will probably be good, regardless of what genre it is. And I feel satisfied with that opinion because it's been good so far.
I
But
like
yeah,
how
Summer
like
Pockets. I want the blonde girl to get an arc next.
I don't.
I don't know who the freak she is. Unfortunately, she feels like the least important of the characters.
Yeah, we know like literally nothing about her. Like the most we know about her so far is that like, I mean, I guess like feels like every key visual novel has like one character with a speech tick, and hers is like McGee or whatever the fuck. Yeah, Mugiu. But I don't know, that's all we know about her so far. We also know she's foreign. I guess we learned her name. Her last name was Wenders. I don't know what country the last name Wenders originates from, but
yeah. I was kind of surprised by that. I think it's just a fake. It's one of those fake names that they give to like make someone seem foreign. I guess I don't know.
apparently it's German.
Oh,
So
I guess. Okay,
all
sure.
right,
Yeah,
sure. She's like
fair
half
enough.
German, half Japanese.
Japanese, I guess. Sure.
They always, I like that like they always for foreign characters like ah shit. How do we make them foreign? Slap blonde hair on
German.
them. Like has well, I mean
Oh
there's
yeah,
that,
that
but
too. Yeah,
like if character's blonde, there's like a 90% chance they're foreign, ten
true.
percent
True.
chance of or I don't know, like 50-50 Gyaru versus Ford.
Yeah.
The classic. Yeah, we'll, I don't know. We've like come across her just at the lighthouse chilling, but that's all she's really done. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I am interested how this will progress towards, because like the plot's gonna start plotting at some point, but I'm
Yeah.
wondering in what capacity do we get up to 26 episodes? Because there's not like a set, like the setting is just the island, but there's not a lot not really anything going on the island, at least right now. So I don't know where we're gonna draw like inspiration for like subplots to just get us to spend more time with these characters.
Yeah, I do hope there's like more, because like I mean in this past episode it's like, or these past couple episodes it's been like, okay, it's a lot of stuff with the black hair girl and then a little bit with the white hair girl, but then you see the other characters like for like a couple minutes. I just hope there's more of the plot that like incorporates like, multiple characters at a time, I guess, because I think like just having like a separate arc for each character would be kind of not lame, but like I don't know. I just prefer it when like more characters interact with each other, and I think like that just makes for a better show generally. I don't know. Having all these like separate like arcs is like right now it's fine to like introduce the characters, but like I hope like later on there's like actually more stuff with multiple characters. So that's what I'm hoping for. But
Yeah, I feel like right now, um, it's it's difficult, right? Because we have black hair girl who
yeah,
isn't from the island. White hair girl doesn't hang out with anybody.
yeah,
Really the only
yeah.
one
Okay,
who
that's a big
does
problem. Yeah,
really the only one who
They
does hang
really
out with
don't fuck with
anybody
each other at
is
all.
the blue
yeah,
hair. It's not even that they don't fuck with each other. It's they don't. No one knows each other. Like
yeah,
the closest that we have to anyone knowing each other would probably be blue hair and white hair because they both live on the island. But like white hair doesn't like to interact with people, so I don't know. It's a weird
yeah, for sure.
group.
It does make me a little interested for the part, because I'm not surprised the way the visual novels are that these characters don't have a lot of like interactions with each other yet. But I also feel like that comes later on too, generally. So it's like, okay, we should probably get some fun arcs where like they are interacting with each other.
Yeah, like I don't know. It is also it's probably gonna come down a little bit to like script writing and composition. Because like I said with Clanhead, like the way it combines characters, like these characters wouldn't interact normally in their routes. Like the Clanhead routes feel
Mhm.
pretty separated from each other. Uh, except for one where because it's like two sisters, but otherwise all of them are pretty separate. And I feel like that's just generally the case for a lot of visual novels where like it's like all right, you're on this route, like lock in. You're gonna be here for X amount of time. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I've never played Summer Pockets, so I don't know how interconnected these characters are going to be in any capacity. And if they aren't, then it comes down to basically the anime staff to determine if they want to make it like that or not.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all of those.
yeah. I think. Yeah, I didn't.
Heavily distracted because it's been brought to my attention that if the Bucks win enough basketball games, I'll be in Milwaukee for Game 6. I'm
Oh,
kind of tempted
oh
to go
boy.
now.
Feels like a lightly, an extra splurge on a what I would assume is already an expensive
It
game.
wouldn't be that much, but it probably would be a little bit. Um, So
Someone,
we'll see. But someone asked if we would go to that, and I was kind of like, well, so we have plans with the group, but I mean, if the game's early enough, could swing it.
that'd be a good experience. Some one guy from my office, they he and his family went to Minneapolis for the Wolves Lakers game this past weekend. They were like courtside and stuff, and I'm like, damn, I'm jealous. It's awesome. But yeah, that'd be good if we get to go.
Anyway,
Yeah.
my Milwaukee trip, just adding extra basketball to it because why not?
Yeah,
Potentially, not confirmed.
be fun.
Fine, this episode doesn't come out until after that game,
True.
so Mars can't listen to this and be like, "Why the hell would you be going to a basketball game?" Because he would. Anyway,
Anyway, um, yeah, that was all. Those are like the only thoughts I had about these two episodes. I would just say like overall, I just enjoyed it a lot more than the first couple. So I'm excited. Do you guys have like a ranking for like the three shows, like 1, 2, 3 so far?
Um,
they're so
It's just kind
vastly
of
different to me. It's
they are
hard
yeah,
extremely
it is
different.
right. Yeah,
because like vibes, Witch Watch #1,
yeah,
actual interest, probably Your Forma.
yeah.
Then
That'd be
it's
good.
like overall, if I had to pick like which one I felt like I've got the most of between the three so far, it might be Summer Pockets. Maybe not.
Like Summer
But
Pockets
like
probably has like the most potential to grow like
yeah,
into a favorite out of all of these, but I don't know how
like
it'll
Your
rank them
Forma
right
so
now.
far has been the most interesting. But I'm also not sure how sustainable that is just based on my own interests
Yeah.
and
Yeah, your
the fact
form
that the
is
genre
interesting, but I don't know if I'm invested if I had to put it into
Hmm.
words.
Witch Watch feels like a show and a series that's designed for me to enjoy it, but we're not yet to the part that's gonna get me hooked. But like long term, I'm sure this will be my favorite of the three.
Yeah,
And
I'd
then
say my
Summer
favorite's probably
Pockets
Witch,
is
but
like
yeah.
in the middle ground of those two, where Summer Pockets has done enough that I'm like, this is interesting. But I also can see like potential in it staying interesting. So I don't know. Right now, I feel like of the three, um, like if I'm just going off of momentum of both like what it's done and what I think it can do, Summer Pockets is the top. But it's also like if I'm going off of what I think I'll like the most at the end, it's probably Witch Watch. If I'm going off of just what I've liked the most so far, it's probably Your Forma. So I think
Okay.
they all have.
We have no
I
idea.
think they all have valid
It's a very diplomatic
reasonings
answer.
behind them. It is a
It's a
diplomatic
legit.
answer,
No,
but
it's a legit answer. I understand.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd say like currently, I don't know. I really like Witch Watch. Like I don't know. It's just like funny or not. I mean, it's funny, but
the
it's also
vibes
just
of Witch Watch are
entertaining.
immaculate.
I like the spells and stuff. I don't know. That's just like um.
And
I
I
just
get
think
to
it's
watch a
funny.
Megumi Shitani opening every episode.
Oh yeah,
Did you
I
see
like
what
I
she?
don't think
Did
we
you see
talked
what they
about in
did?
episode 3. Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't talk about the episode 3 opening.
she's so bad she broke the opening
She
in
broke the
episode 3.
opening and made it into the fucking concept art,
It was
which is
like
just hilarious.
the I don't even call it like the Ganga or
It was
whatever,
like the
like the
storyboarding and yeah, stuff
so
like
it's like
that.
just the actual animation of it, but without any like
Yeah,
additional pieces.
yeah, without the animation part. I guess it was animated without
It was
the
animated. It wasn't it
finishing.
wasn't colored. There
Yeah,
wasn't like no back like no detail to it. Like just all the rough animation basically.
which is just like
Oh, it was cool to see.
genius. I thought it was so fun. And I wonder, so like episode 4, then the opening went back to normal, right? So
Mhm.
I'm wondering if we'll get like other like opening fuck ups.
I
Oh, true.
And it
kind
does
of
something else.
doubt it.
I also
Just 'cause
kind of
I
doubt
feel
it.
like that one was more of like a slam dunk. Like we could have fun with this. I
Yeah.
don't know what other things you'd do with the opening. But
And maybe it'll just mix. They'll just do that every so often. I'm not saying that we should have more. It brings it at least into the realm of possibility of like, oh, maybe they'll just have fun with it, and we'll have a couple just like funny openings.
yeah, I wonder how often some other is like I know Gintama has fucked with their opening before. Like I've seen the clip where it's like at the end of their opening they do like a motorcycle skid or something, but they like fuck one of the episodes they fuck it up and they like crash. Like how do we mess up the opening credits? Like we've done this so many times. I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know if we'll get something like that. I don't know how often anyone does something like that. So this is probably, if I had to guess, this will be the one time we get it. But you never know. Maybe we'll get it for opening
I wouldn't
too.
be surprised if we get this exact same, like if we get that same sequence a few times, just for fun. Like they made it, so they might as well. Um, but I probably would be surprised if there was like a different version of her messing up the opening. As funny as I think it would be.
It's
Yeah,
possible.
I don't think they use the same because like I mean, it is funny how often, I mean, not often, but like whenever you see like special endings and like they just slam
It
it in
only
there
shows the one time.
randomly for
That's
one, yeah,
true.
like in that Love is War episode 3 or whatever with the Chica dance, like that just popped up randomly one time for no fucking reason at all. They didn't elaborate on it at
They
all.
just did it. Yeah.
They just did it. I mean, it worked out. Fucking like exploded the popularity of that. Then they had like the rap ending, like just dumb shit like that. They'll just do randomly for fun. And so this will probably be like one of those one-off things where it's like, it fits in with the show's quirkiness.
Yeah, I like the in the opening the way the different texts for like Witch Watch like cycle.
Yeah,
You know what
like
I'm
this.
talking about? Like
Yeah,
the
at
beginning,
the start where they're like
yeah,
they're
whatever.
painting it, they're making it with flowers they
Yeah,
made it out of food, like stuff
I
like
like
that.
that. I like that. I like that.
You know
Yeah,
what I really
actually
like about
really
the
like the
opening
opening.
as like a creative, and it's like it's Yosobi, so like it's not like they need any type of like big shout out or something. But I love the sequence where they like do the song title and artist credit, and instead of just having it like float around like you normally would do and be easy to miss, they just literally have her enlarge it and point at it on the screen. And I don't know, as like a person who's been in a lot of creative spaces, I just liked the fact that the animators felt like, yeah, we want to really bring attention to like the song and who it's by and everything as well. To me, that's like a nice like respect thing.
Yeah.
It's I think like going back to the question that I never answered myself, but yeah, number one, Witch Watch. Number two, Your Forma. Number three, I'd say Summer Pockets. Summer Pockets is catching up, but like
Like how you took
uh,
time to, you were like, I'd
I'd say
say
number 3 though, the
number three,
one
I'd
thing part.
say
as opposed to
Summer
number
Pockets.
7, yeah. Um, no, I think it's catching up. Just these last two episodes are good. It's just I don't know. I think there are things about Witch Watch and Your Forma is like I'm more interested in the plot, I guess. That I like that more. Like I just find the plot a little bit more interesting currently. Although I guess the arc ended, but whatever. Over the past 4 episodes, I've found the plot of Your Forma more interesting. So I think that's why I have it at number two. But um, yeah, I don't know. I like all three though. I don't like. There's not a show
Yeah.
that like
I don't
is
think
like
we like hard
bad.
missed on a selection
Yeah,
for
thank God we didn't pick Lazarus. Lazarus has been so boring. Actually, I'm still
I also
watching it.
think we
You know,
picked like the fact that we picked like a varied
variety.
selection is nice too. Like the
yeah.
fact that we can't really have a definitive list because like Your Forma and Witch Watch are polar opposites, to me feels like a good thing.
It'll be interesting next season when we have to choose something because there are a lot of sequels which are obviously not
I haven't
on the
looked at
table.
next. Is next season technically summer? Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're an unholy amount of sequels, so it'll make. I mean, we'll definitely have stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad I
There's definitely a
forgot to come
number of.
up with this idea until we stopped getting good season ones. It's not true, but it is
Yeah, I
funny.
think there's gonna be plenty of season ones to look at. Like there are a number of things on here that I'm already interested in that have like getting picked potential for me at least. I'm sure we'll find more as we look through. So we'll
I'll
have
wait
some stuff.
until we do our shopping episode to really look at this. I mean, there's Turkey, the Daniel anime of the year, long awaited.
Long-awaited bowling anime. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna
Which
be anime.
could perhaps
Or
be.
about anime of the year. We'll see. Who
No,
knows?
it's the awaited Daniel anime of the year. You know,
Right.
long hyped
Who
up
knows?
by.
It could be anime of the year. We don't know.
There's no reason yet to think it can't be.
Like
Why does the
no,
main character look like a bowling pin? Anyway,
you ain't gotta do her like that.
I don't fathom. Just entirely off topic. I'm just looking at here and I see Doctor Stone Part 2 coming out next season, and I've been watching more of the Part 1 of the Doctor Stone, the first core. I You read the manga, right, Daniel? I
Yeah,
remember
I
this
did.
correctly.
Yeah.
I cannot fathom how they're going to finish the story in 3 cores.
Uh, get ready to go
Like I
watch
know the last.
go watch the movie. I guess I don't know. Maybe we'll finish off the
I don't.
movie.
Maybe. I just feel like I know like the end of the story kind of like it doesn't like speed run at the end, but they're not to spoil things about Doctor Stone manga because I don't think the ending's rushed. But the last like sequence of events in the Doctor Stone manga happened very fast. And so I'm like, maybe it's not that much stuff we have to cover. But even just thinking about the things in my mind that we have to cover still, I'm like, I don't feel like we have enough
I think we're probably
episodes to
fine.
finish in 3 cores.
Not that I have like. I'm not like so invested in Doctor Stone that I remember exactly what chapter we're at right now, what chapters we still need to do, but I feel like well, I mean, let's just think about the episode count so far. Like, we had a 24 episode season 1, and season 2 is 1 core, but then we had a special episode to, like, go a little bit further, and then we had another 2 core, and now this is gonna be 3 core. With 236 chapters, especially as it picks up pace more towards the end, I feel like it'll probably be, it's, like, enough, like, an adequate amount of episodes.
And maybe it is. I haven't seen exactly where the first core ends, which might be part of the issue. But if it ends where I think it's going to end, then I'm like, I have an
I can
idea of where
give
I
you where
think
it
the
ends.
second core. Okay, I have an idea of where I think the second core will end, and that's where I'm like curious. Yes, that's where I figured it would end. So I have an idea of where core 2 will end, and then I am just the question of what all happens between where I think core 2 ends and the end of the series, and is one more core enough to cover that? And in my head, the answer is maybe. Realistically, what you're saying is correct. We should have plenty of total episodes to have adapted it fast enough. It's just in my head, I'm like unsure if 2 more cores is enough to finish the source material, but we'll see.
Indeed, we will see. I think it'll be fine, but who knows?
I think at the end, I believe it'll be like a good. Like I don't think they'll necessarily rush to the ending. If anything, they'll just be like you said, movie time.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to bring up.
I don't think so.
I do
I've got a.
not. I have to go pack,
That's fair.
which isn't like a dire thing, but
I've got
I
a
am
trip this weekend too, so
somewhat planning to try to leave like early tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, I pack, I go to bed at like 8 p.m. like an old man,
holy a god,
and I get on the road at 5 a.m.
bro, that's
That's
a drive. That's
that's the game plan.
good luck.
But the podcast listeners won't even know I'm gone.
True.
Or will they? No, they won't. But
I mean, not unless we miss another episode.
No, no. I'm free
actually,
next week.
I'm trying to
No
remember.
issues.
I think
There's no reason why we should. I get home the beginning of next week, and then I'm free for like
Same
2 days afterwards.
yeah, we gotta lock in because the 3-year anniversary. It's right there.
Yeah.
Let me scroll and look at the exact date.
It's like what, a month from this episode? You said this was 152?
Well, we've missed episodes in there. May 14th
Well, yeah.
is the
May 14th.
first time we ever uploaded an episode, so we got like a couple weeks, and then we're there.
That's a crazy thing to think about. I mean, we said this last year too.
We're gonna say it every year, actually.
We're gonna say it every year. We're gonna be like, wow, it's crazy to think that we've done this for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about
And I still haven't done my 3-year podcast project yet. I have a month. It's fine.
Wow. I don't know about a month, but you got a little bit of
Until
time.
the episode.
Well, until the episode, you have like 2.5 weeks. Not even like 2 weeks. Two weeks and some change.
I have time. I'll make it in Milwaukee in the hotel.
And time traveler knocks over a water bottle, and we have Chimpact making a year 3 thing instead of PK.
Year 3 Jeopardy.
Oh no.
Gotta get Chimpact on the
To be fair,
podcast.
I feel like I'm the time traveler knocked off a water bottle result because originally it was supposed to be Chimpact. Kind of.
Chimpact did it too. He knocked over the water bottle himself, dude. I couldn't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just to make it clear. I feel like he was supposed to be the like original timeline, and I'm what happened when the water bottle got knocked over.
I was 10,000% down for it, and he just, I couldn't tell. I can't tell if I can't. Chimpact is impossible to communicate with.
That guy's not human.
He's just not human at all. I've had one human interaction with him ever. Now every other second of the day, he's in troll mode. So
Okay. I introduced Chimpact to one of my friends,
right,
and Chimpact
Like his
DMs him
content
all
or
the
him? Yeah.
Chimpact
Oh,
DMs him,
yeah. I actually do know what you're talking.
DMs him all the time asking for like resume advice.
Wait,
Like
really? That's funny.
yeah, like every other day.
so random.
It's so funny. I met him a few months ago, or I went to Chicago with him, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, Chimpact like always just DMs me about like his resume. He keeps asking like, is this good for a resume? Is this good for a cover letter?" It's like, you know, Chimpact's a funny guy, interesting human for sure.
Yeah, Chip is funny. And the other timeline teams here. To be fair, though, was a Chimpact podcast going to last 3 years?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, is there other things still going? Do they still do the CMP
I think they have
thing?
like a monthly thing.
Do
I don't
they?
know.
Oh, they do it monthly.
I saw their page.
They
Um,
definitely don't do it weekly. I know that.
no, I
But
think it's like monthly or something.
Oh, it's CMP Anime Podcast. Anime Central. Let's see. I don't really see monthly. I don't know about week. Okay, there was one 3 days ago. Then there were a couple that were 2
they
weeks
definitely are
ago.
uploading stuff.
They're not. It's not long though. Like they
Yeah.
don't do. They're not like us where they do like hour plus. They get like half an hour, sometimes like an hour maybe, but like their last 3 have been over an hour. But otherwise they've been like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're not quite as consistent, but Why say that? I mean, fuck, they almost have as many episodes as us. They're in like the. They stopped numbering them.
Yeah.
But they're in like the.
I
They,
mean,
they
they're
number them
like
sometimes.
130 probably
Yeah,
if I'm
they're in
looking
the
at it.
130s, I believe. Yeah, like low 130s. Yeah.
Our sister podcast in a way.
Sister
Also kind of
podcast.
not.
We've never interacted with it ever. The one time
That's
they
why I say in a way.
technically interacted was one time I was looking at comments that were like held back by YouTube, and there's a Chimpack comment in there. Of course, Daniel hates Blue Lock, terrible takes. And somehow YouTube didn't let that through.
Somehow YouTube did not like that one.
They didn't like that one, but they've let some insane comments go through in other areas. So I don't know. I don't understand how their auto mod system works, but just I'm at the mercy of it. Anyway, it was almost 2 hours. You know, it's long enough of an episode. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to like, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars, all that good stuff. We are almost at 3-year anniversary. I don't know what we're gonna do for that actually.
Depends on if I finish the project or not. I had an idea for the 3-year anniversary episode that I don't think we've said on the air, so we don't need to.
I don't know
But
if I remember what it is. I remember talking
feel
about
like
it.
I don't remember it.
I don't remember it either. So
I think I told you, and you had the reaction of, "Oh, that's actually a good idea."
see,
And that
I
was
feel like
pretty much the conversation.
remember that, but also I don't. Well, we can talk about it after because we
Yeah.
can't make promises that may or may not, probably not come true. Alright, anyway, Rave 5 stars, all the good stuff. Where were we? If you're on the audio only side of the thing and you like go to the YouTube, then you just go to Is the Order, an anime podcast for only one. Same thing for YouTube to audio only. Is the Order and anime podcast. Can't possibly miss us. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. EST, without fail, except for when we do, like last week, where we did very fail. There will be a new episode out for you to enjoy. So, once again, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in another episode. Thank you, and goodbye.